Alright, hello. In this tutorial we're going to look at the basic setup for Fusion 360 and start the design of our backboard for our basketball hoop. So when you open Fusion 360, your screen should look pretty much like mine. And up the top we've got Untitled because we haven't saved or given a name to our first project. Over here we've got Unsaved because we haven't saved the project yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is save my document or my file. Click on Saved, and I'm going to call it Backboard. Call it Backboard 2 and save it. So now we can see up the top here it's called Backboard 2, and over here it's also changed to Backboard 2. Good. I'm going to start with a sketch. So if I hover over this icon, that's Create Sketch, click on it, and the program wants to know which of these three planes am I going to sketch on. For this particular project it's not really that important, but I'm going to select this plane anyway. Left click on it, and now I am in the sketch environment. So my tools have changed, my palette has changed, and up here I've got a green tick that asks me if I want to finish the sketch. So I know I'm in the sketch environment when I have this finish sketch icon here. If I don't have this, it means I'm no longer in the sketch environment. First thing I'm going to do is draw a rectangle which is the size of my finished piece, or the maximum size. So I'm actually limiting you to a piece of acrylic which is 200 mil by 150 mil high. So I'm going to draw a rectangle like that. Get my rectangle tool, turns blue, it means I'm in the rectangle tool. Also next to my cursor there's a rectangle icon, and I'm going to hover over the axis here, click with my left mouse button, release the button, I'm just moving my cursor, and click again. Alright, you can see that I'm still in the rectangle tool environment, so I need to click on Escape and I exit that. I need to set the dimensions of this rectangle. So up here I've got a sketch dimension icon. If this is the first time you've used Fusion, you may not have that icon. If you don't have it, you need to click on Create, go down to Sketch Dimension, and click on these three little dots on the right hand side here, and put a tick in Pin to Toolbar. Once you've done that, this icon will remain up on the toolbar. Click it, click on that line, go up, and that's I put in 200, enter, and this one again 150, enter. And now with the middle mouse wheel I can zoom out, press and pan, or move the mouse wheel, and that's the size of, or the maximum size of, my design. Click on Escape to exit the dimensioning tool. Okay, so this is going to be like a guide only. Actually, while I'm at it, I'll get the line tool and go from the center. So watch the cursor. At the moment it's across. When I go over that line, it turns to a blue X. That tells me that I'm actually on the line, or coincident with the line. And as I move it along, it'll change to a triangle. Oh, there we go. See that triangle? That means that it's now in the center of the line. When I've got the triangle, I'll click, drag my line down to here until I get a triangle, and click again. So now that line is in the center, or comes from the center of this line to the center of this line, and Escape. Now what I've drawn so far, that is just going to be as a guide. So I don't actually want it to print out or to actually exist apart from as a guide. So I'm going to drag a rectangle around all of it so that I've selected everything, and I'm going to click on Construction. So now the solid line the line that was solid is now a dashed line. That means it's a construction line, and it's only visible. It doesn't actually print or form part of my model. We can see because this is still selected, it shows that it's a construction line that's selected. If I click out, Nothing is now selected. The other thing I want to do, I'll go and select everything again. I don't want any of this to move. So up on constraints, I'm going to fix these lines. Fix not as in repair, but as in fix it to the ground so it doesn't move. And it's turned green. So it's gone from blue to green. Green means it's now fixed, and I can go escape. All right. If I click on this arrow next to sketches, I will see that what I've just drawn, before I go there, I'm going to finish that sketch. All right. Finish the sketch. I'm no longer in the sketch environment. That sketch that I've just drawn is called sketch 1, and I can turn it off so I don't see it by clicking on that eye icon. And now it's disappeared. It's still there, but I just can't see it. I'll turn that back on. Okay, I'm going to do now another sketch and have this sketch underneath it so I can just refer to this size, but it won't actually form part of my drawing. So, new sketch, great sketch. I'm going to do it on that plane that I see in front of me. And I'm actually going to be drawing now on sketch 2. I can see that I'm in the sketch environment because I've got finished sketch here. Okay, so now I'm just going to draw a shape that I like for my backboard. First thing I'm going to do is draw a center line. So I'm going to go from here. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Escape, I'll do something different. I'm going to draw a line, get this line tool, go from here, click once, to about here, click. Now, hold down my left cursor, and it draws a circle or an arc which is tangent to my first line. I'm going to release my button, then I'm going to click again and carry on doing a line. It can be whatever angle I want. I'm going to do it, well, I'm just going to do it about here. I can change it later. And then hold down my left button again and do another line like that. And then a line across to here, just to there. And escape. All right. So now I'm going to change some of these things. You see this little icon here? That means that this arc is tangent to this line. So there's no actual corner here. But we can see that with this point, it's not the case because that's not how I constructed it. I want to make this line tangent to this arc. To do that, I'm going to select my tangent icon or constraint, select this line or this arc and this line, and it's made them tangent, right? I know they're tangent because they've got the tangent icon. This one's already tangent, but this one's not. So I'm going to click on that and that. And now they are all tangent. So that's tangent to that, that's tangent to that, that to that, and that to that. Excellent. Escape. I can click on that and just drag it however I want. I can click on this one and drag it up or down. I'm going to make it about there. I can click on this and drag it in or out. I can click on, I think, this one. That does the same as the other one. All right. So that's pretty good. I can also nominate an actual dimension for these. So I can get my dimension tool, select that arc, and instead of 15, I'm going to make that 25. So it's specific. And this one, instead of 13, I'm going to make that one 15. Escape. Now that, if I drag that down, that will remain 25. It changes that bit. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that so far. Click out. I now need to make a little hole here that we're going to drill. So I'm going to get my circle tool and just anywhere around about there, but not in line with that point there, draw a hole or draw a circle, click, and get my dimension tool, and I'm going to dimension that. I'm going to constrain it to be 3.5 mil in diameter. Now, I need that hole to be in a very particular place. So I'm going to select it, and it's going to come from that center point. And that needs to be 25. And from the base here, it needs to be 13. Just like that. So now the position of that hole and the size of the hole is constrained, and it can't change unless I actually change these dimensions. Escape. Well, that's very good, but it's only half a backboard. So I'm going to double click on any of these lines, and it will select all of them. Over here, mirror. Now it says that I've got 5 selected. I can deselect that if I want. Now none are selected, but the objects is still blue. That means it's asking me to select some. So I can double click again. I just did that to demonstrate I can select and deselect. And the mirror line, around which line does it actually mirror that selection? I'm going to select the mirror line like that, and there it is. And yes, I want to keep that. Okay. Now I haven't mirrored that hole because I only actually want one of these holes to be cut. So just like that is good. So that's I've gone a little bit out here. Let's see what happens if I move this line. Can you see? Because I've actually mirrored the lines, if I move this side, it changes the whole lot. So I want it to be inside the outside line there. And I finished that. Finished my sketch. And that's good so far. All right. That's the end of the modeling stage. And I'll see you back in a little bit.